What's up, everybody? I'm Jeffrey Hessler, and this is Jeff Hess on college football. Today, we'll be talking about the Ohio State Buckeyes defense and their biggest question mark coming into the 2022-2023 season. If you like this video or you like any college football related videos, please leave a like and subscribe because I drop videos that is always college football related. Let's get straight into it. The Jim Knowles Ohio State led defense. A lot of expectations coming in if you're Jim Knowles, and he knows that very well. As he said, this is not like Oklahoma State where you have 3 to 4 years to build. You need to win now. This roster is built to win a national championship, and I think it has everything to it to win a national championship. But biggest question mark is, can this defense turn around? If you watched any Ohio State games last year, if not, so be it. But if you go back and watch the Michigan game, you saw Michigan got anything they wanted. Oregon got anything they wanted. Even Minnesota, a couple other teams at times too, and you really thought, what is this Ohio State defense doing? Well, I'll tell you what they weren't doing. They weren't getting after the quarterback. They weren't forcing turnovers, and they weren't playing as a whole. Kerry Combs was the defensive coordinator, and then after the Oregon loss, Matt Barnes took over as defensive play caller. So, defensive coordinator to an extent. Well, Jim Knowles coming in, ranking second in total defense and second in sacks last year is going to be a big thing for this Ohio State defense. With guys like JT Tuimoloau, Jack Sawyer, Zach Harrison returning for another year, and Javonte Jean-Baptiste as well returning for another year. Some of those guys have been there for a while, and then you got guys like Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau who are young with a bright future. You also got in the middle Trayvon Vincent, and you have returning Tyleik Williams, who was an absolute monster when he was on the field last year. That kid is going to be a beast. If he just gets more playing time, which I thought he should have last year, he can really turn out. The biggest question I would say to this Ohio State defense is the linebacking core. Okay, you saw last year a bunch of different linebackers getting rotated in. You had Taraja Mitchell, you had Cody Simon, Steele Chambers, Tommy Eichenberg, my bad, and then now Cade Stover also moving to the defense. So it's going to be a deep linebacking core with Devontae Traynham transferring in, and then you also have C.J. Hicks coming in as a true freshman and Gabe Powers coming in as a true freshman. Maybe those guys shake some things up. We'll see. The biggest strength, I would say, to this defense is their safeties. They got guys like Ronnie Hickman, Josh Proctor, who's coming back after fracturing his leg against Oregon, Tanner McAllister, the transfer from Oklahoma State, which is a big get for Ryan Day and Jim Knowles in this defense because it helps a ton when you have somebody who already knows the system, who can teach these guys on the field and show them the right things to do, and really just teach you how to gamble. You know, when I say that, I mean when to take your shot at something when you shouldn't take your shot at something, because that's what Jim Knowles preaches. He likes to play offense on defense, and that is basically forcing turnovers and creating havoc. Well, outside of those guys, you got Lathan Ransom, who could come back at some point this season. Then you also got Cam Martinez, who showed flashes. They also bumped him out the corner at times. And then you got Court Williams, who I think can be a very strong player for that defense. You could really throw him anywhere. If you want to throw him at the nickel, throw him at strong safety, throw him at free safety. He's got the size to even be thrown in at linebacker. And then you also have true freshman Sonny Styles. We'll see how much he gets on the field, but the future is bright for that kid. His physical ability is undeniable, and his size is amazing. So then you have on the outside Cam Brown and Denzel Burke. Denzel Burke, somebody who didn't really get a lot of publicity this past season, but I'll tell you right now, that is going to be the next guy out of Ohio State to be a first-round pick, to be a guy like Marshawn Lattimore, to be a guy like Denzel Ward. And when you say those names, you really expect guys like that from Ohio State. Whether you call them DBU, you call them BIA, whatever you want to call them, that's their slogan. The expectations are high. Cam Brown, Denzel Burke, you're going to have your hands full this season. Another question mark I would say to this Ohio State Buckeyes team is their offensive line. And I don't say that as their offensive line being bad, but it showed at times that they couldn't really run the ball when they wanted to or when they needed to. Okay. Trayvon Henderson is without a doubt one of the most talented players and without a doubt one of the most talented running backs returning in the country, and he also was that last year. So We'll look to see Paris Johnson. He's moving over to his original position at left tackle. You return Luke Whippler, who's one of the better centers in college football last year. And then you also return DeJuan Jones, big Thanos, they call him, at the right tackle. Most likely Matt Jones will be replacing Paris Johnson at his right guard position. And then maybe Donovan Jackson moves over to the left guard. We'll see how it plays after the spring. But without a doubt, this Ohio State offense is going to be potent. Okay, C.J. Stroud is on a tear. You saw that with his comments after the whole Desmond Howard thing, what he did after that. Jackson Smith-Njigba is without a doubt, in my mind, the best receiver in college football. Brian Hartline is not going to stop. He's got Emeka Egbuka. He's got Julian Fleming. He's got Marvin Harrison. And then he's got guys like Keon Grays, Caleb Burton, and the list just continues on and on for that receiving core. Ryan Day is an offensive mastermind, so the offense is not going to be too big of a concern, I would say. I would look for C.J. Stroud to end up in New York at some point, like he did this past season. And you could also throw maybe Trayvon Henderson in that conversation too. Maybe even a dark horse for you guys out there is Jackson Smith-Njigba. If he can stay on any pace that he did as the Rose Bowl, watch out. Another Devontae Smith could be coming. With that being said, I'm going to get into some statistics for this Ohio State defense this past season to kind of compare to you guys, to let you know how bad this defense really was, okay? In 2021, Ohio State finished 60th in total defense, allowed 5.3 yards per play, okay? That is almost a first down every time the offense snaps the ball. That is horrible. And they also averaged 372 yards per game, okay? That is 51st in the country, and a third down percentage of 42.6, which is 92nd in the country, okay? Red zone percentage, 85.71, 90th in the country. Those numbers are not okay when it comes to being an Ohio State defense. That is not what you expect. In the passing game, they allowed a 61% completion percentage, which is 74th in the country, 6.9 yards per gain on a pass, and then they had 36 total sacks on the season. And when you're Larry Johnson, you have to be going crazy about that because you are supposed to be the D-line mecca. You are supposed to be D-line, you edge rusher, whatever you want to call it. So be looking for Jim Knowles to create some more things to help out that defensive line because they don't have a big-name guy like Chase Young. I mean, maybe Jack Sawyer or JT Tuimoloau can step up and be that guy. We'll see. I personally think one of them can be, so we'll see. The last good Ohio State defense you really think back was 2019 when they lost to Clemson. That, in my opinion, was one of the better Ohio State teams we've seen in a long time. And I'm gonna get into some stats about them too because, that was a great team. I love that team, and I'll talk about them. So they had the number 4 ranked defense in the country, and I know that's a little easy to do, I guess you would say, with Chase Young, Damon Arnett, Jeff Okudah, Jordan Fuller holding it down in the back. You got Malik Harrison, and so on. The list just continues. Well, in 2019, they had 54 sacks, okay? So the 54 sacks compared to their 36, that's not okay. As an Ohio State team, like I said, the expectations are always going to be high. You're at Ohio State. You're one of the best teams in the country. You're a powerhouse. So that number's got to improve a lot, and which I think it will with Jim Knowles. I think Jim Knowles is going to do a lot for this defense. They brought in guys like Tim Walton from Jacksonville. He's the DB coach from Jacksonville. Had high praise from Jalen Ramsey, who's arguably the best corner, if he's not the best corner, a top 5 corner in the NFL. They also brought in Coach Perry Eliano, who is from Cincinnati, the DB's coach there. He coached guys like Ahmad Gardner and Kobe Bryant, who are arguably two of the best cornerbacks in this year's draft, and Kobe Bryant, who is coming off of the Jim Thorpe Award, which is best DB in the country, along with Ahmad Gardner, who had never allowed a touchdown in his years at Cincinnati. So that is ridiculous. But the biggest thing about those guys is their recruiting, okay? The brotherhood is something that Ohio State preaches, so those guys, from my point of view so far, have been able to get that through the recruits, and it's working well. So we'll see how it ends up in the end for those guys. But I like those hires a lot. Bring in guys, get out with the old, you know what I'm saying? Al Washington's gone, Kerry Combs gone, Matt Barnes gone. And Ryan Day is really not playing around this year. I think this team has the potential to win a national championship. They have every piece to do it. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. The biggest weakness, like I said, would be their linebacker depth and experience. A lot of these guys, though, on the defense are returners, so you can't really say that for all of them like you could last year. But I know expectations will be high in Columbus, and we'll see how it goes. That is going to wrap up today's video. If you like this, please leave a like. Comment any feedback you have, any recommendations, whatever. Another video coming soon. Like I said, subscribe if you're a college football fan or you just want to support. I appreciate it. You guys have a nice day.